And welcome to Sugar Talk with Dr. Kate Jean Lucas in the studio with us this morning. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning, I'm great.
Good to have you with us, and we look forward to your calls as well if you'd like to call in with a question. So, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about studies that are ongoing in our office.
Okay.
Because we're getting some new ones. What's really interesting is that we have our first pediatric diabetes study,
Okay.
which will start relatively soon, probably the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's for children under 18 who have type 1 diabetes or on insulin injection. So it's not a pump study, it's for people on insulin shots. And it's using an insulin that's already approved. So it's using Toujeo, which is a Lantus-like drug. And either they'll get Toujeo or Lantus as far as their basal insulin. But it's a way of trying to get the blood sugar controlled. We'll probably accommodate children who are already in school by having visits after school or on Saturdays. So we've done a lot of thinking about what to do with children, because we're not used to having children and they can only miss so many days of school. And
That's right. Yeah. Right. So this is will this? Do you anticipate this one starting?
Pretty soon, probably the next 2 weeks.
Okay. So sign up now.
Yeah, sign up now. And we're sort of an add-on site, so there's only going to be limited places available. But it's a way of really concentrating on the diabetes for the children.
Okay, let's go over the qualifications. Who will qualify for this study?
So they have to be between 8 and 18. And they have to have type 1 diabetes, of course, and they have to be on insulin injection. So it doesn't include pump patients. A lot of children are on pumps because it's a lot easier than giving them 4 shots a day. But children that are on insulin shots, and there's not that many requirements other than that.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to get into. And then the drug is not experimental, it's already been approved, it just has not been approved for that age group. And I think in general, pediatric studies are rare for diabetes because things just are not approved for anybody under 18. Metformin is probably the only type 2 drug approved down to age 10. But a lot of drugs don't even do pediatric studies. So this is...
Is Toujeo approved for type 1 already?
Yes, it's approved for type 1 and type 2.
For both, okay.
Just for not under 18, although, you have to use something. So even if it's not approved, that doesn't mean that it's not safe. So it's usually very safe, it's just they haven't done studies with that. So all that means is if it's not approved for a certain group, that they haven't done studies with it.
Right. Does that affect insurance eligibility if for somebody?
Sometimes it does. I've had things rejected because the person was under 18. I've had medications rejected, not usually insulin, but other types of diabetes medicines have been rejected because they're not approved for under 18.
Okay, so that's one that we're talking about. But how many studies do you have going at one time? I mean, you've got to have a lot of them underway.
Probably about 15.
Yes. Right. So today we're talking about those that are currently getting ready to start?
Yes, currently recruiting. Okay. So what happens is once they get their certain number of people in a study, they'll close recruitment, and then you just follow the people through the rest of the study. So you don't get any new people in the study after the recruiting's over. So it's important to go ahead and get your people that you're going to get in because you don't know how many other people all around the world are going to be getting in that study.
So when somebody calls the office, then are you looking at their general qualifications, say, well, here's a study you would qualify for, or do they call specifically about a study they've heard?
Both ways. And sometimes they'll call and they're not sure if they qualify, and then I usually just see them because it's better to talk to them in person and have them fill out the questionnaire about their diabetes to see which one they might qualify for, because there might be several different ones and different ones fit into their schedule better than others. Others have more visits, others have less visits, others have desirable medications if you actually get the medication. But diabetes in general is better controlled when you're in a study because people are watching you and paying attention to your blood sugar, and you're seeing the doctor more often than you would normally. And there's no charge for any of this, so you come to the doctor without having to pay anything, and they actually give you money to come. So they pay for your travel. Usually it's about $50 a visit that you actually get when you come. and so that helps.
So there is an observer effect essentially because they are being watched, but it's the positive effect. I mean, they still have to.
I think diabetes is one of those ones that just paying attention to it makes a lot of difference. And so if you're coming to a doctor every 2 to 4 weeks, and they're looking at your blood sugars every time, and you're given a meter and strips and all the paraphernalia that you need to check your blood sugar, it makes a lot of difference in what your blood sugar is. That's why they have to have a placebo group in a diabetes study, because some people get better anyway. They're not really on the study medication. So they have to make sure the study medication does better than the placebo. The placebo is the one without medicine in it.
So, and the one on a placebo is also now actively paying more attention to it.
Yes,
so they're going to perform better anyway.
Yeah, some people just go crazy and do great, and we don't know what they're on, and they don't know either. Some drugs don't have a lot of side effects, so nobody thinks they're on the real medicine. I'm like, well, somebody's got to be on the real medicine. Everybody's blood sugar is doing better, and they'll say, well, I'm following my diet better, and you don't know that for sure. We don't know who's on the study medicine and who's not.
Somebody doesn't know what somebody else is doing. I mean, they don't know what their blood sugars are.
No. So a lot of times you'll see the blood sugar gradually improve over time. The longer the study is, probably the better they get controlled. They stay controlled through the whole study.
Now, the various studies that you have coming up, are they different lengths? Or how much should somebody plan to be committed to?
Well, it just depends on the study. Some studies are short, like 3 months. Some studies are 6 months. Some studies are 2 years. The longest one is still ongoing. It's probably been going on for 5 years, but it's a long-term study. So they come about every 3 to 4 months if it's a long-term study. It's more like they're looking for heart disease problems in people over a long period of time with medications to show that their drug helps prevent heart disease or their group doesn't have as many heart attacks as the other group. So those are long-term studies. You have to follow for a while to see any difference.
All right, we're talking about some of the current studies that are taking place at Diabetes and Endocrinology Consultants, and you can be part of that too if you'd like to go online at beachdoctor.com. You can also take a look at or give them a call at their office at 222-5700 to see if you qualify for one of the studies. Go online at beachdoctor.com. A lot of it is explained right there, and we'll have more of Sugar Talk brought to you by Diabetes and Endocrinology Consultants in just a moment. Sugar Talk with Dr. K. Lucas from Diabetes and Endocrinology Consultants. We're talking about some of the studies that are ongoing now. So you mentioned this one with Trujeo. So are there other specific ones that you want to mention?
Yeah, there's a couple of type 2 studies. One is for people on metformin and one other medicine, and they get put on the study drug that pulls sugar out of your body. And then there's another one with the mixture of the GLP-1 and insulin, which is it's called Lixilam, but it's lixisenatide, which is like Victoza, and Lantus, which is insulin. So for people that their pancreas is wearing out, there is a combination shot. So it's one shot instead of 2. And those people have to be on metformin plus either Victoza, Byetta, or one of the weekly injections that are GLP-1s. And they stay on their medicine, which is paid for 6 months, or they get switched to the mixture. And then we also have the cholesterol triglyceride study. So it's for people with elevated triglycerides.
How elevated are you looking at?
Well, normal triglycerides 150 or below, and these people have to have under 500. So it's not way high, but under 500 is reasonable, and it's a drug that's already approved for cholesterol. It's Praluent. It's a injectable medicine you inject every 2 weeks. So they're trying to get it approved for triglycerides as well, and it seems to work for that group.
These are for people who are not on any medicine now for that?
No, they either have to be on medicine for cholesterol or they have to be intolerant of medicines for cholesterol. The statin drugs, a lot of times people can't take those because their muscles hurt or their muscles feel weak. So if they're intolerant to statins, they can be in the study, or if they're on a statin drug for cholesterol. And they have to have diabetes also. So all of our studies, you have to have diabetes for.
Okay, so again, these are things that are available. You can find out more at beachdoctor.com if you want to find out more about those studies. Now, you mentioned about the variety of them, so they all have different levels, numbers of participants, right?
Yes. I mean, some want a lot of participants, like a long-term study might want 10,000 people. A real short study that's phase 2, which is early, and they only want 100 or 200 people. So that's why we try to go ahead and get our people in as soon as we can so they can get started.
So when people are done with a study, do they often stay on as patients too? Or?
Yeah, we keep them on. A lot of times their blood sugar is too good for any other studies. Have to wait a while.
Well, that's not a bad problem.
And sometimes it just stays good, so that's fine. That's good too.
Yeah, that's good too. But if you want to find out more, go to beachdoctor.com is a great way to start, or you can give them a call as well too. And if you want to reach the office, you can reach them at 222-5700. That's 222-5700. And you can join us again next Monday morning for more of Sugar Talk with diabetes endocrinology consultants and Dr. K. Gene Lucas. We'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks.